WRCR, good morning.
Good morning. It's Tina Traster, Rockland County Business Journal.
Hey, Tina Traster, how are you this morning?
I'm pretty good, enjoying the nice, cool weather. How about you guys?
Yeah, so same here, yep.
Yeah.
So what do you got in your publication this week?
Yeah, so, I wanted to just tell a little anecdote, and then by way of that anecdote, talk about what I wanted to talk about. So, I was very moved by something that I had witnessed yesterday, not here in Rockland County, but down in Hunterdon County in New Jersey. My husband and I, we went to a restaurant for some lunch, and it was this young couple that had, I guess, recently bought this place, and they were converting it to like a microbrewery and a pub, and all they could manage is the outdoor seating because Jersey isn't even allowing indoor seating yet. So,
but that may come soon.
That
may come soon.
Yeah. So this couple, they couldn't have been more than at most early 30s. 3 children under 5. And here they were, at this restaurant with a baby strapped to their back in a baby Bjorn, with carrying large trays and setting up tables outside earlier than they should have. And it was just, it was this kind of very touching Darwinian moment where this young couple was doing everything in their power to save themselves, to save their investment, to make the impossible work. And I just thought about, I was really touched by it, and I thought about how that infuses so many of the stories that we're writing these days about businesses. And I just wanted to use that as a segue to talk about 2 stories that we published last week and one that we're publishing tomorrow. That's a continuation. We published the story of the Henry food and beverage opening on Nyack. Both of these are Nyack related. The Henry, which is a new food establishment that took over where Karma used to be, and started the negotiations in January and was still in the negotiation phase in March. But despite, the tsunami that was coming at them, decided to go forward and open this establishment with the understanding that, and it's a big space too. I think that could, in normal times, seat I think over 100 tables. But they recognize that, that if you do the pandemic pivot and you figure out how to participate in this takeout economy, the delivery economy, and to be prepared. And that's what the owner was talking about. Yes, they've gone ahead and they've built out this space and they've redone the whole interior, but they've done it, with the notion that at any time, we could have a second wave. The pandemic could come back. And that it's so important to be agile and flexible, and just really good example of what it takes to survive today. And again, just like this couple that I had seen. So shout out to Travis Coaster and Tyrone Azenato and Don Ryan, the threesome that have opened up the Henry. I also had a story last.
Is that what it's called, the Henry?
The Henry.
What is it supposed to be?
Well, it's a nod. It's comfort food, and it's a nod to Henry Hudson.
Oh.
Yeah, which I think was very fitting. Because as I put into the story, Henry Hudson was navigating uncharted waters, and so is every business person right now. The other story that we published, and we are publishing a continuation of that story today because we got more information over the weekend on that, is there has been and seemingly is continuing to be a housing boom in Nyack with more than 400 units due to come online, some of which already have. And there was one project for a 26-unit rental building at the top of Main Street. The idea was going to be to knock down two existing kind of decrepit houses and build this apartment building that was going to have a couple of affordable units. It took 3 years for this pair, JED Realty, to get all of their approvals. You know, everything is slow in the towns and villages. And last week we reported that that project, which was called Diana Place, has been put up for sale for $2 million. It has all of its approvals, but the houses still have to be demolished, and the building, you know, would have to be built ground up. And that was pretty much the information that we had last week. But what we're publishing today, and what I would urge people to take a look at, is the story behind the story. The two developers behind this project, Joseph Morera and Ed Mistretta, also own two other buildings in Nyack. One is the Bird Street building, which many people know. It's an old historic building that they have a lot of office suites in there. And the other building is 85 South Broadway. And why people know that building is it's because it's where the Birchwood Yoga Studio has been forever. And both buildings have been very hardly hit by tenant defections. So the pair of developers find themselves over-leveraged right now, and the yoga studio completely in the 85 South Broadway, with Birchwood upped and left with 3 years left on their lease, and they also lost half of their tenants on the ground floor. So here you have a building, once basically fully occupied, you know, is down to 30% occupation. And so what they're doing with the building is they're taking the second floor and they're converting that to 5 studio and 1-bedroom apartments. And so this is another example of, you know, pivot or perish, where, you know, so they're taking their resources and putting them into now focusing on their existing building to build these apartments. And they're saying, well, let's put this other project, which, by the way, was very personal to them, you know, up for sale. So it's just, you know, there's always a story behind the story. And in the case of the coronavirus pandemic, you know, the story is often the same right now, which is how to react to, you know, the kind of changes that have never come on, you know, so fast and furiously. You know, building owners lose tenants, they gain tenants. You know, there are times when maybe we have a recession and tenancy, you know, goes down maybe slowly. But the coronavirus has done, you know, such, you know, it's such massive damage in such a short space of time that these are the kinds of things that we're seeing. So we've written a lot of detail about, you know, their new plans and you know, their perspective, and so I'd urge people to check it out, because it's an interesting story, and it kind of gives you the background behind why this project, which took 3 years to get approvals, is now up for sale for $2 million.
Now, what is it again? What is it called again?
So it's called, the project was slated Diana Place, and it was right at the top of Main Street in Nyack. It caused a controversy because they wanted to have an egress out on Depew Avenue. Right. You might remember that it was lightly covered a few years ago. They had wanted to, their original site plan called for egress out onto the Depew. And that took, I think, a year and a half to, you know, there was opposition, and also people have been shouting about it, overdevelopment in Nyack. There's some perception that some people believe that, you know, too many units are being built. And so this project, you know, it's just like every other residential project in Nyack. It's you know, it's had it's taken its bruises, and it's taken time to get its approvals. They did, however, say that the approvals, to get the approvals on converting the where the yoga studio had been, was rather seamless. maybe it's, again, maybe what towns and villages understand in this pandemic era is that, developers need to get through a streamlined process. So, they're going to bring 5 more units online. This project is now up for sale. And that's the kind of economy that...
Wait, what type of units again?
Well, in the new building, they're going to have 3 studios and 2 one-bedrooms.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah, and in the 26-unit multifamily building, which has already got all of its approvals at 249 to 259 Main Street, at least 2 of those were affordable units, and it was a combination, I think, of studios and 1-bedroom, maybe 2-bedroom. That's in the first story. I can't remember.
Give me the name of it, because I know people are going to ask the name of this, and I'm not going to remember it. What is the name of the complex again?
Yeah. Okay. So what they were going to build was called Diana Place. Diana
Place.
Yeah. It was one of the developers' mother.
Yeah.
The name of his mother. And then he said it's like, it appears as though he just got this thing up and all permitted, and then just flipped it, but that was hardly the case. And that's why we're writing this follow-up story, to show the kind of hardships that everybody is suffering, but, developers too. I think it's going to be a good read. I think the Henry story, well, we know a lot of people have already seen that. That's a good read. These stories...
They're all in the Rockland Business Journal.
Right.
But it's only online, so rcbizjournal.com.
You got it.
It's there. All right, thank you very much, Tina. Take care now. We're off next Monday. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
All right, speak to you